Namaste, children. Hope all of you are keeping healthy and fine. Okay, now, is there anybody who is interested in conducting experiments in the class? Is there a young, blooming scientist in the class? Has any time your science teacher ever told you about it? Like trying new things, or in chemistry lab you might have indulged in something, in making something, uh, and you must have got some scolding from the teacher. Any such incident? Okay, then if it is so, keep going. It's very good. Okay, you should have that spirit, the spirit to conduct experiment. That will help you to do more and more research work. Okay, so that's very good. Keep it up, my dear children. Now tell me, which is the oldest thing around your place? Is there any oldest thing around your place? Have you ever noticed? Like anything of 70 years or 100 years? Anything like that? Then you mention it in the class, okay? Now, there is a question for you. Have you ever thought that uh, you would want to grow older? Have you ever thought? You might have. When you were a child of 9 years or 8 years, you might have thought, isn't it? When your mother or father would say, come on, my dear. If you ask them, father or mother, can I go out? ഞാനൊന്ന് പുറത്ത് പോയിക്കോട്ടെ ഒറ്റയ്ക്ക് ഞാൻ സാധനം മേടിച്ച് വരാം. Then at the time immediately your mother would say, no no no, ഇപ്പം പോണ്ട, കുറച്ചുകൂടി വലുതാവണം. ഇപ്പം നീ ചെറിയ കുട്ടിയാ, നീ തനിച്ച് പോണ്ട, ഇവിടെ വന്നിരിക്കേ. Or sometimes if you would do something yourself, they would say, എന്താ അത് ഒറ്റയ്ക്ക് ചെയ്യണേ, ആദ്യം സഹായമില്ലാതെ, നീ ചെറിയ കുട്ടിയല്ലേ, നീ കുറച്ചുകൂടി വലുതാവട്ടെ. Or sometimes if you would be watching an adult movie, immediately they would tell you, നോക്ക് മറ്റേ മുറിയിൽ പോയിരിക്കേ, നീ ചെറിയ കുട്ടിയാണ്, വലിയതാവട്ടെ, ചെറിയ കുട്ടികൾക്ക് കാണേണ്ട മൂവിയല്ല. Isn't it? At that time you might have thought, oh, if only I had grown up. ഇല്ലേ? അപ്പോൾ here there is in this lesson there is a person, okay? He is interested in inventing something. You know what? Basically he invented a thing which will make people younger, okay? But then what happened is, as some people consumed it, they disappeared, and they just disappeared, and their age became -87. Just imagine your uncle consuming that, or anybody in your house consuming that thing, that tablet or that medicine, and they are disappearing, or they are becoming minus age. What would happen, isn't it? Yeah. So at the time he thought there is a need to make a new medicine which will make people look older. Okay, so now children, let us start this lesson. The invention of Vita Vonķ. It's page 99. Mr. Willy Wonka begins by inventing Wonka White. Now Wonka White, that is the name of the thing which he invented at first, which makes people younger. But Wonka White is too strong. So some people disappear because their age becomes minus. One person actually becomes minus 87, which means he has to wait 87 years before he can come back. Mr. Willy Wonka must invent a new thing. Okay, so he decided to invent a new thing. Now, Mr. Wonka said, "So once again I rolled up my sleeves and set to work. Once again I squeezed my brain, searching for the new recipe. I had to create age, to make people old, old, older, oldest. Ha ha!" I cried. For now, the ideas were beginning to come. So, children, he thought that there is a need to make a new medicine which will make people look older. So once again, he rolled up his sleeves. That means he got ready. And he started searching hard for a new recipe. What is this new recipe? Recipe means the instructions for the new medicine. Recipe means the instructions, step-by-step instructions. Okay, so he searched for the recipe of the new medicine which will make people look older. Okay, now ideas are popping up in his mind. One by one, ideas are popping up in his mind. What is the oldest living thing in the world? Now, what lives longer than anything else? He is asking a small boy called Charlie. Okay, he's asking a small boy called Charlie Butcher. What is he asking? What is the oldest living thing in the world? He's asking Charlie, do you know what is the oldest living thing in the world? What lives longer than anything else? So Charlie immediately answers, a tree. So he says, oh, what kind of tree? Don't simply say a tree. Right you are, Charlie, but what kind of a tree? Not the Douglas fir, not the oak, not the cedar. No, my boy. It is a tree called the bristlecone pine that grows upon the slopes of Willow Peak in Nevada, USA. You can find bristlecone pines on Willow Peak today that are over 4,000 years old. This is fact, Charlie. So he says to Charlie that, see, are you talking about Douglas fir or oak tree? You know, fir tree with needles like leaves like needles. Have you seen? You might have seen in pictures, right? Yeah. So they are found in Himalayan region in snowy places. Because why their leaves are needle-like shape, all of you know, no? Because the snow should not remain over there on the leaves. It should fall down. That is why the leaves are pointed downwards and needle-like. Okay. Now oak tree that is a family of a large tree with a hard wood. Its wood is very hard. Now you know in Kashmir there are many chinar trees. The chinar trees is the chinar is one such oak tree. Okay, it's a kind of oak tree. Now another is cedar. Cedar is an evergreen tree with hard, red, sweet smelling wood. Its wood is very sweet smelling and it is also hard tree. And you know, its wood is used for making pencils, boxes, fences, etc. for all these purposes. Now, he also says pine tree. Pine is also growing in evergreen places with needle-shaped leaves and cones. Okay, so Mr. Willy Wonka says, no, just tell me about bristlecone pine tree. Have you heard about that bristlecone pine tree? It is 4,000 years old. You find that tree in Nevada, USA. Okay, this is fact, Charlie. This is not just a what to say. It is not just a saying. It is a fact that this tree is 4,000 years old. Ask any dendrochronologist you like. Who is this dendrochronologist, children? He is a person who looks at the tree and the cut tree and tells the age of the tree. You know, when a tree is cut, have you seen a cut tree? And the main part of the main body of the tree will have round circles. So looking at those circles, the dendrochronologist will tell you about the age of the tree. Okay, so Willy Wonka is telling Charlie that you ask any dendrochronologist, he will tell you that bristlecone pine tree is 4,000 years old. And look that word up in the dictionary when you get home. So that started me off. So Charlie now gets started. He also goes. He jumped into the great glass elevator and rushed all over the world collecting special items from the oldest living things. Because this work has been given to Charlie, so he takes up this job with great enthusiasm. He jumped into the great glass elevator and rushed all over the world collecting special items. What special items? Special items from the oldest living things. That has been told to him. You collect the special item of that oldest thing. The special item of that oldest thing. You collect and come. Okay. So at first he went to, what did he collect? You know, he collected at first a pint of sap from a 4,000 year old bristlecone pine. So the first thing he collected was a pint of sap. What is the meaning of pint? It is a unit of measurement. It is equal to, we can say, half a liter. Okay, about half a liter. So he collected just about half a liter of sap from a 4,000 year old bristlecone pine tree. Okay. Next, what did he collect? He collected the toenail clippings from a 168 year old Russian farmer called Petrovich Grigorovich. So next he collected toenail clipping. That is toenail. All of you know toenail, no? So he cut the toenails and the toenail clippings he collected. He collected the toenail clippings from a 68 year old Russian farmer. So 168 year old Russian farmer's toenail clippings he collected. Okay, and the name of the farmer is Petrovich Grigorovich. Next he collected an egg laid by a 200 year old tortoise belonging to the king of Tonga. So a tortoise of 200 year old, its egg he collected, and the tortoise belonged to the king of Tonga. Then he collected the tail of a 51 year old horse in Arabia. Tail of a 51 year old horse. Can you imagine such insane things? But then as you read, you can understand how insane it is, how really it is insane. Now, so he collected the tail of a 51 year old horse in Arabia. Then the whiskers of a 36 year old cat called crumpets. Whiskers പറഞ്ഞാൽ അതിൻ്റെ രോമങ്ങൾ, മുഖത്തിൻ്റെ ചുണ്ടിൻ്റെ മുകളിലുള്ള രോമങ്ങളില്ലേ, അതാണ് whiskers. Then an old flea which had lived on crumpets for 36 years. Flea എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അതൊരു തരം ചെറിയ ഇൻസെക്റ്റ് ആണ്. നമ്മളുടെ ആനിമൽസിൻ്റെ സ്കിന്നിൻ്റെ മുകളിലൊക്കെ ഉണ്ടാവില്ലേ, നായ്ക്കുട്ടികളുടെയും പൂച്ചയുടെയൊക്കെ സ്കിന്നിൻ്റെ മുകളിൽ ചെല്ല് പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ടാവില്ലേ, അതാണ് ഫ്ലീ. So he collected flea which had lived on crumpets for 36 years. 36 years ആ പൂച്ചയുടെ മേത്ത് 36 കൊല്ലം പൂച്ചയുടെ മേത്ത് ഇരുന്ന ആ ചെല്ലിനെ കളക്ട് ചെയ്തു. Then the tale of a 207-year-old giant rat from Tibet. 207-year-old giant rat in the tail from Tibet അതും കൂടി കളക്ട് ചെയ്തു. പിന്നെ the black teeth of a 97-year-old grimalkin living in a cave on Mount Popocatépetl. അതിൻ്റെയും എന്താണ് കളക്ട് ചെയ്തത്? ടീത്ത് കളക്ട് ചെയ്തു. 97-year-old grimalkin living in a cave. ഗ്രിമൽക്കിൻ എവിടെയാണ് താമസിച്ചിരുന്നത്? കേവിൽ. 97-year-old ആയി. അതിൻ്റെ കറുത്ത ടീത്ത് കളക്ട് ചെയ്തു. ഓക്കെ. പിന്നെ knuckle bones of a 700-year-old catalu from Peru. പിന്നെ knuckle bones 700-year-old ആയുള്ള എന്താ പറയുക, വളരെ 700 ഇയർ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞെങ്കിൽ വളരെ ഓൾഡ് അല്ലേ. 700-year-old ആയുള്ള കാറ്റലൂൻ്റെ നക്കിൾ ബോൺസ് കളക്ട് ചെയ്തു. ഇതെല്ലാം കളക്ട് ചെയ്തിട്ട് അവൻ പോവുകയാണ്. ഓക്കെ. എല്ലാം കളക്ട് ചെയ്തു, ഓൾ ഓവർ ദ വേൾഡിൽ നിന്ന് കളക്ട് ചെയ്ത് എന്നിട്ട് മിസ്റ്റർ വോങ്കയുടെ അടുത്തേക്ക് പോവുകയാണ്. ഓക്കെ ചിൽഡ്രൻ, അപ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് ഇതിവിടെ നിർത്താം. ഇനി അടുത്ത ക്ലാസ്സിൽ ടീച്ചർ വിൽ കണ്ടിന്യൂ. ഓക്കെ. So read this portion, and if you have any doubt in the online class, I'll clarify it. Okay.